Sejam todos muitíssimo bem-vindos a mais um bate-papo que normalmente aconteceria todas as quartas-feiras, mas especialmente pelo peso do convidado de hoje, nós abrimos uma exceção, assim como a gente sempre tenta abrir aqui, sempre que a gente pode trazer gente bacana, gente legal, gente influente e importante para a cultura automotiva, como é o nosso convidado de hoje. Bom, sejam todos muito bem-vindos, eu acredito num horário ali que talvez seja até legal, porque o pessoal tá almoçando, né, Pedrão? Agora a galera tá almoçando, tá mandando aquela marmitona fitness para dentro e eles vão entrar agora para curtir esse bate-papo, principalmente para quem gosta talvez de treinar o inglês. Hoje vai se deleitar no episódio que estamos trazendo para vocês. Hoje estamos trazendo o Larry Chen aqui no nosso podcast. Ele é um dos fotógrafos mais premiados ali da cultura automotiva, ele que está por dentro de todas as novidades do mundo, e veio aqui para o Brasil para um evento que vai acontecer esse final de semana, o Autoconcept BR, que inclusive são amigos nossos, são parceiros, tem inclusive cupom ali de desconto para você que quer garantir ali o seu ingresso e ver não só o Larry Chen, como diversos outros influenciadores internacionais e nacionais que vão estar por lá neste evento bem bacana que está sendo promovido ali, tá? Pelos nossos amigos lá da Autoconcept. Então, galera, o nosso podcast, como sempre, tem o apoio aqui, né, da FuelTech, vocês já sabem, é referência mundial ali em injeções eletrônicas, eles são parceiros nossos aqui do canal. Vocês já viram no projeto da Caravan, mas tem muita coisa bacana vindo por aí. Também esse podcast é um oferecimento da ATACADÃO PNEUS, o melhor e-commerce para você garantir ali os vários modelos e condições de pagamento sensacionais que você pode ter lá. Tem cupom de desconto também para vocês lá na ATACADÃO PNEUS. A Race King, uma loja ali que tem soluções completas de performance para você, com diversas marcas, desde Garanta, RadLumi, Motul, diversos outros peças de toda a linha Metal Horse e Epman, você consegue encontrar ali na Race King, comprando tanto na loja física, que fica aqui na Avenida RicardinhoACF em São Paulo, quanto também no site. Ali você pode entrar no raceking.com.br, beleza? Por fim, mas não menos importante, nós temos aqui a Pichau Informática, que faz aqui as cadeiras que a gente está sentado aqui e diversas outras peças de hardware para computador. Você que quer trabalhar ou quer fazer gaming ali, quer jogar, montar aquele seu setup de PC bacana, considere ali entrar na pichau.com.br, o maior bazar de tecnologia gamer que você pode encontrar do Brasil, é na Pichau. E você não ia deixar eu esquecer, porque temos aqui um cupom exclusivo da RadLumi. Deixa eu contabilizar quantos por cento que é o cupom de hoje, que a RadLumi, cara, que são os nossos parceiros, tá aqui, ó. Eles sempre preparam cupons de desconto para você que quer aproveitar e garantir o seu RadLumi, que é esse produto aqui, esse frasquinho, que ele detecta vazamentos no seu sistema de radiador facilmente. Ao colocar esse fluido aqui, que ele é rosadinho aqui nessa apresentação, mas ao misturar ele ali com o seu fluido de arrefecimento, ele torna o seu fluido de arrefecimento fotoluminescente. E aí, quando você pega uma lanterninha que vem no kit da RadLumi, você consegue identificar vazamentos no sistema de arrefecimento facilmente e rapidamente, ali facilitando a nossa vida, porque afinal de contas não tem jeito mais barato de descobrir um vazamento de radiador. Usando o RadLumi, a gente já sabe que é muito melhor e mais barato do que descobrir com o ponteiro da temperatura. E o cupom de desconto, para 30% de desconto, Pedrão, deixa eu já botar aqui no ao vivo para eu fixar o seu comentário. O nosso cupom de desconto é CLIC. CLIC com CK. CLICK. Tá aí. Mensagem fixada. Beleza. E é isso. Galerinha, quem tiver aí nos escutando, já vai preparando o The Books on the Table, porque hoje o podcast vai ser em inglês, tá? Então, nós vamos fazer o upload desse episódio de novo assim que ele terminar, para que o YouTube possa fazer ali a dublagem por AI, para vocês entenderem e conseguirem assistir em português. E também vocês podem ali colocar ali o Closed Caption, tem o botãozinho ali, CC, ali embaixo do YouTube que vocês podem também conseguir assistir ali. Eu não sei se ele vai fazer simultaneamente, e aí vocês conseguem acompanhar, beleza? Mas eu vou conversar em inglês aqui com o nosso convidado internacional e vamos treinando aí. Quem quiser aí, né, treinar o inglês, aproveita que hoje vai ser a oportunidade e vamos nos preparar. Bom, well, now talking in English to our audience, please be welcome Larry Chen, one of the legends of the automotive photography.
Thank you.
And also content media generation that you do, because it started with photography, I guess, right?
I mean, in the beginning, it started with a love for cars. And then I think it evolved into photography, storytelling. And then now it's kind of come full circle. And now I'm in front of camera just as much as I am behind the camera. So I just find that in recent years, at least in the past, I would say 7 or so years, being able to tell the story a different way in front of camera is very, very important. So that's why I'm here. I'm excited to be here in Brazil for the first time. I cannot tell you how many times people have told me, hey, you have to come to Brazil. You have to check out the car culture here. And I would say I haven't neglected South America on purpose for any reason. I literally just haven't had the time, or I haven't had a reason to come until now. And I'm so glad I'm here for the Autoconcept event this weekend. I'm also really excited to make some contacts like yourself locally so I can come back. I haven't even been here for maybe, 2 hours. And I'm already on a podcast. I'm already talking about cars, car culture. I already saw a lot of cool cars just on the way here. I'm very excited. I'm really looking forward to just diving deep into the car culture.
Oh, it's awesome because, I mean, just to tell our audience, I had the chance to pick up Larry on the airport right now. So we just drove from the airport to the podcast to have the chance to know a little bit more about the guy behind the camera, and also one of the biggest images that we have from gearheads that had the chance to step up and partner up with brands, which is something that I'm going to talk a little bit later on the podcast, but it's something that doesn't happen as often, right?
Yeah, and I think part of that really comes from the fact that we're very positive about car culture. And I know you are too. Like, we're not talking down on other people. We're not talking down on brands. We're not making fun of people. We're really just promoting what we like and what drives us, what we're interested in. And I find that really helps. So right now, we're in South America. There's so many stories I want to uncover in South America and also Central America. In the past couple of years, we've been covering a lot of Asia and Southeast Asia. Obviously, naturally, when we're talking about car culture, we'll, of course, cover a lot of Japanese car culture, especially in Japan. But car culture is not just in those main hubs, right? The US, you have Japan, you have Australia, you have the UK, majority of Europe. But there's just so many of these little pockets that I want to just explore and see for myself. I understand that there's so many people that create content here, including yourself, and so a lot of other Western journalists that have come here to do content in English, but I want to take my shot at it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah, we are excited to see what you're going to be able to unveil from the looks from the Brazilian car culture itself. And but we're gonna be there. Let's just going back chronologically, because I have some some curiosities, like where it all started. How was Larry Chen before being the photographer? Like, you grew up like a teenager enjoying cars. What was your first car and how it all started?
It started with a love for cars. Growing up in Southern California, it's pretty natural just to fall in love with car culture. It's kind of the first step to freedom in that region. And around my generation, it was not uncommon to get a car for $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 and fix it up, drive with friends, enjoy going cruising with no destination at all. And that's just kind of how I fell in love with it. And even before that, I played with model cars, RC cars, basically anything around that culture. I went to car shows. Like, I remember as a kid, I would go to the Los Angeles car show, and it was just so cool to see these new vehicles, exotic vehicles, Porsches, Ferraris. It was the only time that you could see these things up close that weren't just flying by or on the street. So I just fell into it and fell in love with it. And my friend group growing up, we just all obsessed over cars. And one thing that I really thought was so interesting growing up was how people that I was with, how they could tell these vehicles apart with just one small thing. Just like they see the headlight and, oh, it's this car. It's a Acura Integra, or it's a Ford Mustang, or this, that, another. And I just couldn't wrap my head around, you see just a tiny little part of the car and you could tell what it is right away. Of course, eventually, I kind of learned to have that skill, and I'm still learning every single day. I'm sure you get called out a lot on YouTube and also on social media all the time for, oh, how could you not know this car is this? And how could you not know it was made from this year to this year? There's so much to learn. That's the beauty of it.
Indeed.
It's a worldwide thing, and it's infectious, and it's the biggest it's ever been. Would you agree?
Yeah, and for me, it's what makes car culture brilliant, because you will never be able to know everything, and you always learn new things, and that's the challenge, right? It's like the Pokemon.
Exactly.
You'll never have them all.
We're gonna try.
We try hard sometimes.
Exactly.
But with the cars, it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, I had the chance to fly around a lot, and everywhere I've been into, there are different approaches to tuning, to customization, to car manufacturing, to engineering.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to doing a deep dive into, because from my understanding, just our short conversation on the way here, I learned about a lot of Brazilian-made cars that are revered here, that are enjoyed, and they're tuned here too, because that's what's available versus importing something. Mm-hmm. Of course, there's the restrictions for importation, all that, but that's what I really want to know. I want to know what the locals like to tune and what they like to modify and what they like to build. Because it's one thing, yeah, of course, you go to any country and there's wealthy individuals that play with cars. That's fine. I want to tell their story too. But I think the local car culture is what really intrigues me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can make some connections with a lot of peculiar individuals that that can give you a good perspective of what the Brazilian car culture is. I mean, don't considering even money, because at the end of the day, we're gonna modify cars. Doesn't matter how much money we have. I mean, it all changes is the price and the size of the toys. But even when we were kids, we started doing with our model cars. But yeah, it's going to be, I think you're gonna enjoy, and then probably it's going to be only the first time you are in Brazil of many others that are to come.
100%. I think the first time is always the most difficult to make the connections to just really get ingrained in the community. And I think going forward, I'm going to be able to come back a lot and shoot racing and shoot just events. And I don't know, it could be even just for certain builds and projects. I'm 100%. I know most people who are following me, they'll agree that I'm not afraid to travel. I love traveling, and that's kind of the spice of life, being able to make new friends. And I think a lot of people ask me, what's the best part of my job? And I honestly think it's that, is meeting new people, making new friends. And that's just what makes things tick. That's what makes it special.
Agreed. And talking about what was your first car?
My first car was a 1986 Volvo 740 GLE, and it was a hand-me-down.
740. It's the station wagon?
No, it was the
sedan.
But let me tell you, it was such a pile of crap. It barely ran, and back then, the electronics were just so not reliable. So if it wasn't one thing, it was the other. It was the mass airflow sensor that was bad, or the TPS sensor, or this, that, and the other. There's always something that was wrong with it. And to this day, like you before we started rolling, you were telling me that you've been to Santa Monica. I grew up in Santa Monica, and I could tell you all the places that I've broken down in that car. Like, there's certain pockets on the 10 freeway or the 405 or the 5 freeway. I'll point to you. Next time we're in LA, I'll point to you. Hey, you see that little ditch right there? I broke down there, and I had to floor it I had to time it so well to not get hit by traffic to get back onto the highway. I can tell you where I've blown tires in it. I could tell you where I ran over a parking block and I knocked the exhaust off. So it was kind of like open headers for a while. I definitely had my problems with that car. It wasn't a good entry into European cars. It didn't have air conditioning, didn't have a radio. It had a really bad exhaust leak. So I feel like I would get high every time I drove it. But it was a free car.
Okay.
And you can't complain about that, So it got me around. And quickly it evolved into me fixing the car myself. Everything. I was so proud of myself to change the fuel pump on that vehicle. I did it myself. I didn't ask for any help. I even had to read a book to know how to do it. But I did it, and that's kind of what really triggered, I feel like, my love for working on cars, even though it's not my specialty. But it's just about doing something mechanical, doing something with your hands. And then if you did it right, then you're rewarded with a vehicle that runs. And yeah, I guess from there, it snowballed since I was 18 years old.
No, that was a perspective that I don't think that it describes better what's the bond between the cars and us. I mean, being rewarded with a running car after working hard to get that fixed. And probably it's the kind of connection, the kind of connection that doesn't happen on a brand new car, right?
It's interesting because I'm sure a lot of people can relate and can't relate also, in that I feel like most people now, they don't know what it's like to break down and be stranded on the side of the road, and you have to fix it yourself. That's something that's kind of lost because, let's be honest, cars now, so reliable. So reliable compared to the 70s, 80s, and even early 90s cars.
That's true.
Now, cars from 2000 and on, I feel like are pretty reliable.
And not only cars, but I mean, when you broke down nowadays, you have internet connection everywhere. We have a smartphone where we can call for a tow truck. Back then, you needed to walk a lot to a public phone. And what would you do with a public phone? You don't know what's the tow truck phone number without a book like that thick, with phone numbers.
It's so funny. I think about this all the time. The first time I went to Japan in 2006, I printed out a bunch of MapQuest directions, or it wasn't actually MapQuest, but it was like it was a website where you could enter where you want to go, and it would tell you what train and bus to take. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of things back then wasn't in English; it was all in Japanese. So for me to get around, to go to Tokyo Auto Salon, to go to the shows, go to the hotels and whatever, I had to print out directions. Like, you have to take this train to this. I would mess up all the time. And I could not imagine traveling worldwide. I can go to any country right now to shoot car culture. And it's so much easier now compared to just a couple years ago. And you know what's interesting is I talked to a lot of the rally photographers, WRC.
Okay.
And I asked them, what was it like back in the 70s, 80s, 90s? What was it like before GPS? A lot of times they told me they would have to make some kind of connection with a local. And that's the only way they were able to get around or do anything to follow a rally. Because even now, if you were to photograph WRC, like I've photographed WRC a couple times when Ken Block was around, mm-hmm. we had to run our own rally. It's like we had to run our own race just to photograph the race.
Yes.
So I couldn't imagine doing it without GPS. People have it so easy, including myself. We have it so easy now.
And it's interesting because I had the chance to interview one big automotive photographer from Brazil called José Mário Dias. Not sure if you know him.
Yes, of course I know.
He does a lot of rally coverage as well, and he was the first one that told me that we need to drive the same stage that the rally drivers do to be able to find a good spot and take the photos. And it's something that I was never thought about because there's no road on most of the times, right?
Can I just point out, how do you say his name in Brazil?
José Mário Dias.
We call him Jose.
Jose, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I just want to point out the fact that he's a perfect example of somebody that if they actually want to do this for a living and become an extraordinary photographer, become somebody that is has like a good image in this industry, it's possible. But he works so hard.
Yes.
And he's so talented, and you just have to put in the hours. You know, people ask me all the time. I'm sure people ask you all the time, how do they do this for a living? They know the answer, but it's almost like they don't want to come to terms with it. Mm-hmm. You have somebody like Jose he's based in Brazil, right?
Yes.
And the fact that he's shooting all the races that I'm shooting
everywhere,
it's difficult. You know, it's an added step that a lot of people don't have to take. And I've seen so many people like Jose all across the world come up in the ranks since I started. And I look at their dedication and I look at the output, their work, the beauty, the inspiration. And I think to myself, they got it. Like, they are pushing so hard, and it makes me so happy that they can succeed. So there's a lot of individuals like that.
And like taking the chance to jump in the same subject, we have big names and people that are really, really talented. But on the recent years, we also got the social media jump on the stage with something that rewards more than the quality, I think the right on time side of the things. And I think you are one of the professionals that could deliver good quality on what you do and still be on time for social media. I mean, I'm a Formula Drift fan, and every single time you go to FD stage, you were always driving your Supra with the camera on
Yes.
it, taking pictures, doing car by car videos and photos and shooting, and keep your social media stuff. And what's your position regarding producing for social media and producing for professional photography and all that stuff?
I think it's so important. That's just the immediate gratification that the people that are following me, they want to see what I'm doing at that moment. It's the hottest at that moment, right? A good example is the SEMA show. We tackle it in a couple different ways, but among the YouTube audience and among the content that we're shooting for YouTube, that's long form, that's just as important as the social media, or vice versa. The social media part is so important because it's like the quick fix. So I'll do photos or I'll do video, and it's like just a quick, here is the 1 minute description, here's the 2-3 sentences or 1 paragraph description of why this vehicle is incredible, why it has a good story, and why it's interesting, and why you should look at it. But our YouTube, we use it as a vessel for the 30, 40, 50, 1 hour long videos that go even deeper, the deepest possible, or at least the deepest as what the builder or the driver or the producer, whomever, whatever they want to give up, whatever they want to tell in terms of the story, we use that as that vessel. And I think it's great. I absolutely love it. I was able to interview Anderson Dick from FuelTech with his incredible Ferrari powered DeLorean. And while I understand that there's so much material and so much content on that car that exists, you can find out everything you need to about that car. That's not the point. The point is I have a different audience, and I want to bring my audience along and talk about this build my way. You know, I have my questions. I have my way to kind of uncover this build. And it's just like a different way to tell that story. And I think that's great. And I appreciate so many creators that allow me to do that.
It was an amazing build, and I saw the video that it went out like a couple days ago, right?
Well, yeah. So during SEMA, I know it's really important. It's very hot during that time because everybody's talking about the SEMA show. It's kind of the center of the car culture world that week. I'm assuming you probably agree.
Sure.
So around that time, we have to publish 2 videos a day, kind of featuring the hottest cars, or at least cars that I think that will do well.
Sure.
Because not everybody can make it to the show. You know, there's so many people that are interested in what's happening at the show that's not there. And that's why social media and updating as fast as possible, as quick as possible, is important. The way things are going, a lot of people assume that it's very saturated in terms of like car culture content. I don't think it is. I think these individuals are consuming it so much faster than we're able to produce content. I still think to this day, like I can't post enough. I can't post faster. I'm posting as fast as I can, you know, and those people that will tune in this week and then next week, they'll see I'm posting as much as I can from Brazil, but I wish I could post more.
Yeah, I feel the same, and people will still urging for more.
Yeah.
So, and one of the things, probably you being such a huge personality on the automotive world in United States, I have seen videos from content creators regarding like the current status of content generation based on automotive for the automotive market. We saw a couple companies changing the names behind the cameras, Donut Media getting like big time, and also James getting to speed. And there's also the questions that I saw, I think was that dude in blue.
Yes. Yeah, David.
Yeah, David. Telling people like, I mean, there's still enough space for people wanting to create content about automotive world, but it's not as easy as it looks like, right? What's your point of view on that? Do you think it's still a growing market? Do you think the big names are always going to be the big names, but it's every time harder for people to come up?
Yeah, I think it is a growing market. That's a great question because the audience is growing. The audience is growing exponentially, and it's a worldwide thing. It depends, right? Because you're talking about the English consuming world when it comes to content. So many of these individuals are not enjoying cars the way that we get to enjoy them. A lot of times they're enjoying cars through our content. A lot of these cars, or a lot of these individuals, when I think about English-speaking countries, I think about in Europe, I think about in Southeast Asia, the Philippines specifically, Malaysia, even in Hong Kong, they can consume English content, but they may never own a car in their lifetime. But that's okay, because this is still entertainment for them.
Sure.
And they can still participate. They can still build models. They can still have diecast. They can still have RC cars. They can still go to these places to enjoy car culture. They can still go to Japan. They can still go to the US, go to events. They don't need to participate the way we participate. But luckily, they get enjoyment out of this still. And that's why I think it's growing exponentially. And that's why I think a lot of these smaller creators are able to thrive, because they've built like a niche audience that likes them, that latches on to what they're doing, and they grow a fan base. Yeah, of course, the big individuals out there, they'll continue to grow, and that's great. That's the point. On my side, I'll tell you right now, all I'm doing right now is I'm making content that I would have loved to enjoy as a kid. And nonstop, I have these pinch me, I must be dreaming moments when I'm working with the heroes that I watched growing up. Especially the Japanese JDM legends. You know, Keiichi Tsuchiya, Manabu Arito, Tarzan Yamada. I mean, all those guys. I used to watch them as a kid. And I could not tell you how far I thought that was. Like they may as well have been like the president or you know, like so far, just untouchable essentially. But now the fact that we're kind of all playing on the same level it's incredible. It's so cool.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel exactly the same way. I mean, I just remember when I was a kid and I came from not a huge place. It's a small city on the Brazilian shore, and I always enjoyed cars, and working with that and succeeding in what I did. Of course, like you said, there's no free lunch. You need to work hard whatever you want to do to get there. But once I started seeing like people that I watched on TV, and they're like sitting at my side, and I mean, I still don't feel important nor anything, but it's like it's the guy I saw, like even you. I mean, at a point, it's someone that I see, I appreciate the work, and like having the chance to talk to you a little bit more and know you a little bit more is also something that reminds me that I feel sometimes like a astronaut, that I came so far away from where it all started that we feel like, okay, sometimes I'm going to wake up from the dream, right?
I mean, I think maybe that's why a lot more people can relate to you and what you're doing, because you come from a humble background and you can relate to your audience. I think that's kind of the same way with me, honestly.
And and getting back to the cars, because I'm curious to see, because I see myself in a lot of cars that I see you driving around and enjoying it, because mostly I'm a JDM lover as well. I like cars at all, but for some reason, I identify myself more into the Japanese ones. And what was the first car that you got for yourself that you started to enjoy it? Enjoy it on the custom car, not like by performance or whatever, but what was the first car that you were able to get that different pleasure that my car is not the same as your car, because I made that.
Yeah. Do you know what a Nissan Maxima is?
Yes.
So I had a 1994
Okay.
Nissan Maxima
SR?
SE. And
SE.
so
No, the engine.
no.
SR20?
It's a
Or the
it was
V6?
before VQ. It was the predecessor to the VQ.
Okay.
It was called a VE.
Okay.
So the very next generation was the VQ30 DE.
Uh-huh.
And then the next generation after that was the VQ35, which everybody loves for it or hates the sound. Love for the hate of the sound. Yeah, I had a 1994, and it was 5-speed manual. It had a LSD. It made 190 horsepower, 190 foot-pounds of torque, and that was the first vehicle that I enjoyed. I actually looked out for that vehicle as hey, this is reliable. It's a Nissan. It gets good fuel mileage. It has a lot of room. You know, I'm like justifying this to my parents. I saved up enough money to purchase it. You know, I enjoyed it, but secretly in the back of my mind, I'm like, I gotta modify this. And I used it for my first track days. I autocrossed it. I modified it enough where when I took it to the racetrack, it would always get on 3 wheels. And the trick that I used to do is when I would corner, it would get on 3 wheels, and then the inside wheel that lifted, it would stop.
Oh.
Because I know a lot of Volkswagens do this too, right? Because it's front wheel drive. Because I would tap the brakes, almost like left foot braking or trail braking to get around a corner. And it's like I would pick up a wheel like a dog peeing, and I would just go around the corner with one wheel up. It was so much fun, and I loved going around with my friends in it. And I would just redline it all day because it was fun. It was manual. It had an LSD. You know, it was fun. And it kind of got me into that Nissan brand. And the very next car that I got was my 1972 40Z, which I still have. And I've been a JDM fan all my life, a Nissan fan, but I love everything. You know, I love Porsches. I love American cars. I honestly love all cars. There's just not enough time in the day in the year to enjoy these cars, as you know. The same thing. And then was interesting because the first thing that came in my mind when I think on the Nissan Maxima, it's the video of the guy on a mustache against a Porsche 911, I guess. Do you remember that drag race? So, like the guy with the hat and that's a 4th gen Maxima, and I think because that time that's a VQ, and they had supercharged and turbocharged versions of that, and that didn't have independent rear. It had a solid rear axle, but that was like the first one also that was OBD2 because it was a 1995 and on. That one had so much potential for modifying. Actually, I recently just went to the Moto IQ. You know Moto IQ?
Yeah.
I went to their office, and they had one that was like so modified, like the most modified I've ever seen. And it just brought back memories. And I was like, oh, it's so cool. It looks so good. You know, it was almost like a baby Skyline. You know?
Yeah.
But it was front wheel drive, and it was all we had because we didn't have anything like a R32, R33, R34. I mean, we had the 300ZX, but that was so expensive back then. It could not have been further. Like I again, something I looked up on a pedestal. Like, wow, it came with 300 horsepower. That's crazy, you know. But yeah, that was. I loved that car. I missed that car, but unfortunately, I sold that car.
Okay, and what cars do you currently have in your garage?
I have This is a difficult.
Do you still
question?
Do you still remember all of them? Because sometimes I have some.
So what do you say when people ask you what do you drive? Because people assume that if you're a car fan, you have one car that you drive. That it's like your cool car. You have a BMW M3, or you have a Ferrari, or you have a Lamborghini, or whatever. People ask you all the time, I'm sure. What is your political answer?
I mean, I list my cars, and they okay, but which one you likes most? And the thing is that I answer it always like, when you have more than one child, there's no child that you likes most. And with cars, for me, it's pretty much the same thing, because I may like one car for one reason, and I like the other one for another reason. Like I have old cars, bone stock ones. I use it to have, because I K-swapped and ZF8 and went into SEMA, but it was bone stock. And I enjoyed driving that 1979 car, the Caravan. I use it like 3 times a week to go to the office. And it was amazing driving a car like people use it to drive in 79. I mean, most of the cars nowadays, you can just, you can do whatever you want. The car drives by itself. But on that car in specific, if you get into your phone to say good morning on the family group on WhatsApp, you change it 2 lanes at least, because you always need to pay attention to the road and stuff like that. And it's different because I have I like all my cars. I bought them for a reason, every single one of them. But
do you know how many cars you have?
Yes, like 13, 14.
Okay, so I asked this question to some people, and they don't actually know.
Yes.
So, like, for a good example, you know who Daigo Saito is.
Yes.
I asked him, how many cars do you have? And he said, it's over 100, but it's under 200. It's somewhere in between there. So I don't know how these individuals like Jay Leno or whomever, I don't know how they can explain what they have. Because as soon as somebody hears that I'm into cars, I'm a car guy, they want to know, what do I drive? So the easy answer is, if I feel like they can kind of understand what I'm trying to explain, I say I drive the car for the occasion. Like if it's off-road, I'll drive an off-road vehicle. If it's on-road, I'll drive an on-road vehicle. If I need to go drifting, I'll drive my drift car. If I need to do time attack or track day or do a road trip, I have cars for that. And car fans will understand that. If it's not a car person, I would just say I drive a Land Cruiser. That's my daily
Works for everything.
I drive a Land Cruiser, and it's very comfortable, and it's a couch, and I just want to be comfortable, and that's what I drive every day.
Okay.
It's true.
Yeah. I agree. And regarding cars, you are an individual that have the chance to drive a lot of different vehicles. Some of them that I think you were one of the first civil persons to have access to. And what was the car that you remember that most surprised you in a positive way, of course? Maybe not only a car itself, but maybe some technology that was inserted into that car that, okay, that's cool. Do you remember something like that?
You know, I'm very lucky in that I am in a position where I do get to drive so many incredible cars. And it could be street cars, race cars, it could be prototypes. I've driven so many vehicles. Like I just had a chance to drive the Zinger 21C, the one that has a lot of 3D printing done to it. That's probably one of the fastest vehicles, quickest vehicles I've ever driven. And it also felt very special. But I've driven everything. One thing that I drove recently that was very special, that really surprised me, I don't know if you had a chance to see it. This was built by Lexus. They took a Toyota A86 and they did an EV motor swap. They didn't do an EV swap.
Okay.
They did an EV engine swap. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, I don't know. Is it popular here in Brazil to do EV swaps?
No, not at all. We are just starting to get EV vehicles here. There's no Tesla.
Right. You can imagine, though, like a traditional EV. I mean, you're very well traveled. You've been to so many places. You can imagine a lot of people, if they think about an EV swap, what happens is you take out the entire driveline. Okay. Right. A good example is what Nissan did to the R32 GTR. They took out the RB26. They took out the transmission, and they replaced it with a motor and batteries and the whole unit. So it's like no gears. It's just like a traditional EV, and it just goes. No revving, whatever. It just goes, and then it has a range. What Toyota and Lexus did to this A86 was they didn't actually do a full EV swap. They just took the 4AG out.
Okay.
And they put an electric motor in place of the 4AG.
Keeping the transmission and everything.
Keeping the transmission. Yes, that's the key. So the transmission, instead of using the stock 4AG transmission, they replace it with a brand new GR86 6-speed manual transmission.
Okay.
And that means the clutch works. That means the manual transmission works. That means you can rev it. That means you can clutch kick it. You can launch it. You can rev match. It acts like a normal Toyota 1986 Hachiroku. Corolla. It acts like a normal Corolla. It even makes Corolla sounds because they pipe the 4AG sounds into the speakers. But also, the electric motor itself makes a lot of mechanical sound. And the reason why this is special is because you're not ruining the characteristic of this vehicle. In fact, it actually feels just like a 4AG, and it acts like a 4AG. But the only difference is its electric motor. And what they did was they actually took the Toyota Tundra, you know what that is?
Yeah.
They took the Toyota Tundra hybrid assist unit. And this is the unit that goes in between the V6 twin turbo power plant and the transmission. It's essentially is like the bell housing. And it looks like a bell housing. And it makes about 150 horsepower, which is about what the 4AG on a good day will do. They just took that and they replaced it with this 4AG. So you could rev it. And the RPMs, everything, it matched. It felt like a normal Toyota Corolla. And I guarantee you, if I took this car and I picked up a normal person in it, and they're not a car fan, they wouldn't know that it was an EV.
I understand you. I'm not sure if you're going to have the chance, but if I could, there is FuelTech made 2 projects, EV projects in Brazil, just to showcase their capabilities and all that stuff. One of the project is Volkswagen Gol, a very popular car. Probably you're going to have coming into, it's pretty much like a smaller version of the Golf. And they EV swapped as well with an engine. I don't remember the horsepower. It's not insanely high. It's still front wheel drive, still has the gearbox. And never drove that car. I drove the Beetle that they had in the headquarters in Porto Alegre. But everyone that drove that car felt pretty much what you told, like, because electric vehicles have serious performance, no doubts, no questions asked.
No feel.
But we still miss something about them. And it's nice to see the manufacturers taking that note, because was one of the features that I never drove one, but I think it's interesting that everyone that drove made good feedback on that, on the Ioniq 5N.
Yeah, I've driven those, and they're
with the simulated gear shifts and stuff.
That's fun. That's cool, and it's a little gimmicky, but it's fun to play with. And I enjoy driving the Ioniq 5N. But with that said, this gets around the gimmicky, right? This is something that is real.
It's the actual.
It's actually making that much power, and you're going as fast as you can by shifting faster and by being smoother. You actually have to be very smooth at driving, because it kind of has this programming where it almost like fake stalls. If you stall it, it starts bucking and it's amazing. It's so cool. And that's not to say you can't just go to a red light and put it in first and then it's 0 RPM. You could push the gas and then it goes again. But it still acts like a normal manual transmission, versus I've actually driven EV swaps, Volkswagen bus that had a 5-speed manual and it was attached to a motor, but you couldn't drive it like a traditional manual. Because what you would do is, if you start in first gear, you push the clutch in, the motor all of a sudden goes like, way, like to 10,000 RPM.
Sure.
And it doesn't come down. You can't put it in second gear, because if you put it in second gear, you'll break it.
Yes.
And you couldn't drive it like a normal manual. You had to essentially leave it in one gear, first, second, third, fourth, even, and just drive it in one gear.
Yes.
But what's the fun in that?
That's true.
There was no fun. In fact, you could put it in reverse and go whatever, 100 miles an hour in reverse if you wanted to. But that's not fun. That's not realistic. Whereas Toyota and Lexus, they push so hard to make the programming as close to a real 4AG as possible. And that's not to say that it's the right thing to do or it's the future. They did it simply, I feel like, because they can do it and it's possible. And that's what inspires me, because maybe in the future, maybe it'll be difficult to get 4AGs and you want that same characteristic. I don't know. But the point is that the driving feel, the connection, and the emotion was there. And that's what I loved so much. I had so much fun driving it.
Oh, and it's amazing to think that, makes me really happy to see that. I mean, the kind of gimmick, the geekery around engineering to make the electric engine simulates an internal combustion one. It signs me that there are people that like cars inside manufacturers that do cars.
Yes.
Because at a point, I worked inside a manufacturer, a car manufacturer, and I missed that when I worked there, because most of the times we are on a third world country, and of course every penny matters on like making cheaper cars to have a better chance to deal with the other brands price tag. But sometimes you had a decision on a product that wouldn't affect the price, but would affect the experience. And most of the times was hard on the engineering perspective to justify for a marketing guy that was cool. And most of the times we got ripped off the final product just because the marketing guy is not a car guy. It's the managers, the heads of engineering are not car guys. And seeing that manufacturers still have people that are car guys that likes cars seems good for me to know that. And seeing the current Toyota moves.
The GRGT.
The GRGT.
That got announced yesterday.
It was an amazing car. I feel that, we can now see the LFA effect. I mean, everyone wants that car, and we all knew at the time what was the LFA purpose.
It's interesting because in the car on the way here, one of the comments that you made was that you thought that or at least you had an idea that maybe this would be AI or maybe it's not a real vehicle. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many comments I got from that, from all over. A lot of people assume that, wait, is this real? Are they really going to build it? Is this AI? It looks AI. And then my reply is, I sat in that car. I turned it on and I revved that car. That car. Like, I had a chance to experience it. It's a real car. And they're going to build it. And this is a very good example of people in high positions. You have Akio Toyoda, you have his son, you have just the whole GR group pushing so hard to build fun cars, to build aspirational cars, inspirational cars, to build something that most people will never be able to afford that vehicle. Mm-hmm. But the point is that needs to exist so people can know what it is and fall in love with it and fall in love with the story. And I think it's great. How many people know what a 2000 GT or LFA is, but they may never even have seen one in person. But it's very inspirational. I think it's great. I think it's so cool. And I can't wait to photograph them because I know they're going to be racing. Mm-hmm. And it's cool to see Toyota back in racing like that. I want them to race against Ferrari, against Porsche, against Ford, against the German manufacturers. I think it's great. I think it's so cool. And that's not to say Toyota's the only manufacturer that's pushing the limits of what's possible. Anytime I see a sports car come out, like the Prelude, or like even the Mustang GTD, all these cars, anytime these new cars that are fun cars to drive come out in 2025, 2026, manual transmission or turbo or supercharged, I think to myself, that's a good car. And that was the same case with the Toyota Supra. I know a lot of people complain that it was, maybe a BMW underneath or whatever. Who cares? It's a sports car and it's a brand new car and you can make a lot of power and they actually turn out to be really fun to drive. Mm-hmm. It's something that it makes me happy that it's still continuing, the horsepower war. I mean, you can see how many manufacturers have gone backwards, right?
Indeed.
Have you ever seen a manufacturer apologize to their audience like Dodge had to do? That's crazy. They got rid of everybody's favorite car in that genre. You know, they got rid of the Hellcat. They got rid of the Demon. They got rid of the Challenger, Charger. That's something that, as an American car enthusiast, you know, it's hard not to fall in love with these cars. They have so much horsepower. It's crazy. It's so cool. But they had to go backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks God that someone took into that direction, because, I mean, seeing the Charger EV only was like, okay, I understand that probably there's a group of people that enjoy that and see the value in that. But, I mean, I'm not against EV. I'm against doesn't have options.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that.
And give people options, like you were telling. Probably most of the people doesn't even have the money to buy the new GR-GT, but give them the option. I mean, we saw that on the whole Honda and also Toyota lineup. The GR Corolla, it's not a cheap car, but you have the standard Corolla if you like the Corolla. But if you are up to there and you want to, we're going to make a car, a Corolla, with all the things that gearheads wants. Which was the GR one.
Yeah, I love that. And that's kind of the argument that I have a lot of times when it comes to supercars and hypercars. I'm glad these vehicles exist. I'm glad the Bugatti Veyrons and Chirons and Koenigsegg's and Paganis and all those exist. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to own one, but I'm happy that they exist because they show what's possible. They show how far a car can actually be. I joked around with Zinger after driving their car, $2.5 million vehicle, okay? Mm-hmm. I had a chance to floor it. I had a chance to drive it and enjoy it. I told those guys, you saved me $2.5 million because I didn't have to buy this vehicle. I could just drive yours. And I joke around like that, but that's just the thing. Is I'm glad that they still exist because somebody will buy it for $2.5 million and they're going to enjoy it. But we get to enjoy it too because it exists.
Sure. That's true. And not taking any longer because I know you're a little tired because of the flight and everything else. And we have a lot more to enjoy in Brazil. But I know everyone, it's a little bit expecting something 36-ish to show up on some Nissan lineup.
Ooh.
So
the R36.
Yes.
You know, it's funny because I had a chance to shoot the Hyperforce.
Okay.
I don't know. Have you seen that?
Yes.
The Hyperforce? And there's a badge on it that it's almost like a pixelated GTR badge.
Okay.
But it's so interesting because the whole time the Nissan team, they weren't allowed to call it a GTR. But it's obvious that it's a GTR badge. You know, but it's funny because me and Lewis and all the people that work with me and all the people that were part of that shoot, I had a chance. Okay, so just to fill everyone in, Nissan hired me to shoot the Hyperforce on the streets of Tokyo, out in public. And of course, we had permits, but the point was to show this vehicle out on the streets, to show that it wasn't a render or AI, it was an actual real vehicle. Mm-hmm. And we had a chance to photograph it with the Shinkansen and the subway trains in the background, and just even at a shrine out in the public. It was late at night, but it was still out in the open, and it was just so cool to see this vehicle out there. But of course, the joke is, and I said this in my video, that it was more of a statue than a vehicle because I think it had like a 1 horsepower motor or 2 horsepower motor, and it could only drive at like a 1/4 mile an hour. Like, it was so incredibly slow because it was a concept car. You know, it's just a moving statue, and it was literally at that point I was already shooting, I don't know, 19 years. I've never done like a car to car, but it wasn't a car to car. I was walking. It was like walking to car, you know, it was going max speed, and I was literally just walking on the sidewalk in Tokyo, and I would just drag my shutter, and it was just such a slow shutter. It was like fifth or a quarter of a second, even like that slow, just trying to show the motion, show the speed. But even around that surrounding that project, it was just so interesting because even the Nissan people would accidentally call it a GTR, but how could you not? Because it has a GTR badge on it. The joke for me and Lewis was we would call it like the Nissan, you know, like because it's like a pixelated, smashed version of the GTR badge. But I don't know. I mean, because that's the beauty of concept cars. They could do whatever they want, and who knows if it actually becomes the next car or not. But I do have to say, I do love the direction Nissan's taken, especially with the new people in charge. There's a potential for things to turn around. I love the brand. I love Nissan. As you know, we do a lot of shooting for Nissan. We did the last shoot ever for the R35.
I saw that.
We sent it off into the sunset, and that means a lot to me because this is a car that's inspired me so much. I was there the day it got released in 2007 at the Tokyo Motor Show when Carlos Ghosn came on stage and he launched the car, and I was there for the last shoot to send it away, and that means so much to me. And we shoot so many other cars for Nissan. You know, we shoot their everyday daily driver cars, the Versa, Sentra. We recently shot their plug-in. We shot their Kicks, Murano. Like we've shot pretty much everything I feel like that they make, including the Nismo Armada. We shot that for them this year. I'm very positive about the brand. You know, how could you not be? Sure. Because it's something that we all love. They changed the car industry forever with the GTR. So while a lot of people may be predicting Nissan's downfall, I'm very positive about the brand. I know they'll turn around because there's such a fandom behind the brand. Yeah, and hopefully I don't know anything about the R36. I hope they knock it out of the park. I hope they tug on everyone's heartstrings, because you hear about the R34 and even like the 400R and a bunch of R32s, like the HKS0R, all of these vehicles going for 7 figures. It's crazy how expensive these vehicles are. I mean, I just shot one back in LA that sold for like a R34. That was just a normal R34 that was rebuilt by Omari Factory for $750,000.
Ouch.
That's so much money.
Yes, that is.
But they're not tapping into that with the new cars. And I think they can, especially if they come out with something that's very special, and that tugs on our heartstrings of why we like Nissan to begin with. I think, I hope, maybe they'll come out with a Silvia again. Who knows? I don't know. You know what's funny is I had dinner with, at the time, the president of Nissan when I was in Japan for Tokyo Auto Salon. I think it was around, 2 years before I shot the Hyperforce.
Okay.
I literally asked him to his face, bring back that Silvia. Where's our S16? Make the S16. I'll buy it. I'm sure you'll probably buy it too.
Of course.
Yeah. Come out with something cool, you know? And he's like, oh, maybe, I don't know. Maybe in the future, whatever. I don't know. Maybe this new management will consider building the S16. Like, how cool is that?
That would be so awesome to have the same DNA from the same recipe. Because, I mean, we all get those cars and update them with current technology.
Yeah.
And they are so amazing to drive and still so amazing to drive. Imagine what a manufacturer could unveil with all the research and development from the engineering team to come up with something new. And this was a direction that once back in time, I doubt that Toyota would do. But when they started branding the Gazoo Racing division, I was like, no way. It's just going to be like some badges and stickers and decals and all that stuff, and it's the sport version. But when the car finally came from the factory, like I like Subaru and Mitsubishi as well, and I miss the Evolution, and I miss now the STI, even though we still have the Impreza, the WRX. And the same recipe that worked for me on my STI, the last one that I had, being used by Toyota to the Corolla.
Yeah.
And I was like, if Toyota can pull this off and it's working for them, why other brands couldn't make the same thing and work for them as well?
The car's selling.
The car is selling.
Yaris, the Corolla in the US and worldwide. It's these cars exist. Like the S16, jokingly, is essentially like the 4-cylinder turbo Mustang. Rear-wheel drive, more affordable. You can make a lot of power from that 4-cylinder Mustang. You can make so much power, and it's fun to drive, and it looks pretty cool. Like that's essentially the S16, but the American version. I mean. What's also interesting to me, we can get so deep into this, but if you remember around that turning point with Toyota, it's not like they weren't making money either. They were making money without all of these sports cars.
Of course. I mean, and it's okay.
What did they have? They just stopped the MRS at the time, I think, right? In the early 2000s, before the Scion FRS or GT86 came out. They didn't really have any like sporty fun cars. I think it was the MRS was kind of probably the last thing, and then they discontinued the Supra. It was kind of like the last thing that was fun, and for a while they had a gap, but that's not to say they didn't make money around that time. They made plenty of money. They were selling so many vehicles, Corollas, Camrys, 4Runners, minivans, all around that time. But something clicked in terms of building something fun. To this day, people ask me what's my most fun car to drive. Honestly, it's kind of a toss-up between my GR86 that I just drove before flying out here and my 350Z. Both cars, so simple. Manual. Rear-wheel drive. Doesn't make that much power. So much fun to drive. Simple. I have more expensive cars that make more power, but for me, it's just about simplicity, and it's about full control, like with my hands, with my feet, with the clutch. That's what makes it special. I love driving the GR86. So much more than my Mach 5 Supra. So much more.
I understand you. And recently, like last year, I had the chance to buy, because it always intrigued me on the rotary, and I bought an RX-8 in United States. And it pretty much translates what you said. It's simple, even though it's a different engine. So from the engineering perspective, for me, it's awesome. But it's underpowered, it's manual, good chassis. That's the only thing that I was, okay, someone worked hard to get the handling on the car figured out. But everything else, it's just a pleasure to drive fast on that slow car more than driving slow on my other insanely faster cars. And it was amazing. This car actually, it just reached Brazil. I just imported it temporarily.
Really?
Yeah, so people in Brazil can see, because we never had Mazda here.
Oh, okay. So are there RX-7s here then?
There are a couple from people that brought them brand new, because in Brazil we can't import 30 years less cars. Then there are a couple. Probably you're gonna see one of the couple that exists here in Brazil. But RX-8s, I think only when they brought brand new. But it's so expensive that most of the people didn't at the time. So
And I can't imagine there's really any rotary shops here at all.
not at all. But you know how it is for us. As big as the challenge, as big as the reward, right?
Yeah.
So the point on bringing this car to Brazil is just to have the chance to show up to people what that is. Probably most of the people wouldn't even care as much as I do on that car, but it's okay, because one day I was one of those small kids looking at cars that I never considered that I was going to be able to afford or to get into. And for me now, it's what's fulfill my heart every time I see someone that I watch, like, okay, maybe in the future, that kid, it's going to grow up and keeps the ball running.
Yeah, that's how we keep this culture that we love alive. And I love to point out the fact that the RX-8 is not an expensive car at all.
No,
It's very affordable. And as you mentioned, great driving dynamics, fun to drive. The looks, neither here nor there. Some people like it, some people hate it. Mm-hmm. I think it looks great. It's just, it's a special car for its era. And I think it's so cool that you imported it here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think I can get it on time until you are here in Brazil. But for sure, you are going to come back here.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
More often than you think. And, I know that there are a lot of people wanting to know a lot more about Larry Chen and what he does. If you want to check it up on his Instagram, what are your social media? So people can.
If you want to just look and see what I'm doing anytime, just follow me on Instagram. Go to search for Larry Chen. And if you want to support what I'm doing, I came out with my life's workbook, which I have to send one to you.
Oh,
it's 20 years of shooting, and I went through my entire life's archive of 5 million pictures, and I narrowed it down to under 3,000 pictures for this very heavy book that is over 400 pages. And it's just kind of a good snapshot of my work from 2004 all the way to 2024. So if you guys want to pick that up, you can go to my website, camerasandcarculture.com.
okay.
And I have my diecast there. I have my prints. I have T-shirts, merch. But that's where I sell my signed book. It's a good representation of what I've done in my life so far. And it's not any indication that I'm slowing down, obviously. It's just a good snapshot for this 20-year time period. Mm-hmm. And then, going forward, I'm just going to push just as hard.
Yeah, can't wait to see what the second generation of that book for the next 20 years of photo shootings from Larry Chen will be interesting, of course, in the future. And
hey, some of them will be your cars, for sure.
Well, I have one that it's easy for you to photo shoot in the United States, and probably we're going to see each other a lot more in the future. We enjoy the same things. We were talking, like coming here, and it's pretty much, we're just born in different countries, but the passion and it's everything on the same page. And now I'm going to speak in Portuguese for the audience, so they can know how to find you, because you're going to be here for a couple days.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Então, se você quer, meus amigos, isso é ao vivo a propósito, tá? Se você quer encontrar o Larry Chen, pessoalmente, e diversos outros influenciadores, eles vieram aqui para o Brasil dessa vez, tá? A pedido do pessoal da Autoconcept BR. É um encontro de carros, tá? Uma exposição de carros que vai rolar lá no Castelo, aqui na Zona Sul, tá? Então, se você quer saber mais sobre esse evento, @AutoconceptBR, tá? Tem no meu Instagram também, tem link lá, a gente tem cupom de desconto para vocês comprarem. Novamente, é um evento de exposição, a gente não vai ter ali nenhuma exibição de carro, embora que eles possam funcionar e tudo mais, mas vai ser ao ar livre, podem levar a família, literalmente um evento bem familiar para vocês acompanharem ali no Clube de Campo do Castelo. E bom, além do Larry, muita gente bacana vai estar lá. Eu vou estar dando aula, né? Até o horário meio diferente agora que a gente fez esse TunerCast de manhãzinha, na hora do almoço. É porque eu não consigo fazer mais tarde, porque tô no meio de um período de aulas ali da CF Education. Mas não deixem de perder, assim, não percam essa oportunidade, tá? De estar perto desses caras que são importantíssimos para a cultura automotiva e que produzem conteúdo, cara, de altíssima qualidade, assim como diversos outros brasileiros também, mas a gente sabe que é bem difícil da gente ver esse pessoal aparecendo por aqui, assim como o Igor também veio no passado lá do BR Clube TV. Agora a gente tem diversos outros criadores aqui e vamos ver se cada vez mais a gente consegue colocar o Brasil aqui, o nosso país amado, a nossa terra, no roteiro ali de grandes lugares para quem gosta de carro visitar. Eu acho que a nossa cultura é extremamente rica em qualidades que a gente pode com certeza inspirar pessoas ao redor do mundo, e talvez isso foi o que nos levou lá no SEMA Show esse ano, e isso é o que cada vez mais está atraindo a atenção de pessoas de fora do nosso país para apreciarem um pouco daquilo que a gente faz. Eu espero que, assim como o pessoal da Donut que veio aqui, o Larry agora também leve sempre boas lembranças. Então vamos fazer uma festa bonita, vamos aparecer lá, vamos mostrar um pouco do que é o brasileiro e do que a gente faz ali com tanto amor e tanto afinco para esses caras, e vamos continuar fazendo, né, do mundo automotivo algo tão bonito igual a gente tem conseguido fazer nesse e em diversos outros canais que a gente acompanha aqui. Beleza? Vamos tentar levar ele para andar de seisão, vai. Vamos tentar apresentar uma figura folclórica para ele, que eu acho que ele vai gostar também, mas vamos lá. Galera, muito obrigado a todo mundo que acompanhou. Temos perguntas ali, não temos, Pedrão? Temos, pega para mim, por favor, as perguntas lá do pessoal do Instagram, que eles mandaram lá pro pessoal lá da Blue. Olá. José is in the chat right now.
Oh, is
yeah,
he?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
Um abraço, José.
Can't wait to see him and say hello. And I love his work so much. A lot of people ask me who inspires me.
Uh-huh.
It's the people that are my peers, the people that push me to be better at photography. It's the people that I'm rubbing elbows with, the people I'm battling with, right? For the same photo hole. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure, of course.
I love that. I think that's my favorite. To see his skill and all the people that I shoot with, everybody's skills. We push each other so hard to be better.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I like to say that we are not competitors. We are work partners at the end of the day. We have just a couple questions from that were sent to our Instagram account. They are just heading it to me. I'm going to select a few of them that our audience wants to know about Larry Chen. Let's see. Good questions.
Ooh.
They got good questions. Side shots send us. How was to shoot Ken, of course, block, I guess, on Pikes Peak Unicorn?
Yeah, it was a very difficult project, very physically demanding project. It took 2 years, 3 trips, 12 days, and a lot of engines, or a lot of late nights. It was very difficult. Probably one of the most difficult projects that I was a part of, physically, mentally. We're talking about waking up super early, 1 a.m., going on the mountain, getting ready for sunrise, and it's snowing or it's hailing, and it's in the middle of summer. It's crazy, and the altitude is insane. It's just everything is against you. And I think there was one time where he even told me, he's like, it's like the mountain is cursed. The mountain hates me. But I mean, that's just the way nature is, right? Mm-hmm. You can't control it. And that's what makes it special. That's the charm of that place. The lightning was crazy. Everything was crazy. You know, it was just a challenge. I mean, he even crashed it. A lot of people don't know, but the second time we went, he crashed it pretty bad. And I have pictures of this. And it's right after, you know, the famous shot that I have. Mm-hmm. That's probably my most famous shot of him going off the corner. The very next corner is where he crashed. The shoot before that happened, and it chewed up the car pretty good. But they fixed it, and it was something I'll never forget.
And we have someone. I'm not sure if we have someone who said here. Jose Mario Diaz sent, "My friend Larry, I'm very happy that you are in Brazil. Thank you for all the lessons."
Oh, yeah. I know. You didn't learn anything from me. Yeah. It's all him. It's all him pushing what's possible with photography out at the tracks. You know, going all over the world, photographing these cars. They don't come to you. You have to go to them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We have Caravan79. He asked if you have pictures from your Nissan Maxima. They got curious about that.
I do. I had it around 2002 to 2004, around that time period. And I do. It was dark green, like forest green. And Sparco had a garage sale.
Okay.
And I actually got Sparco seats for it.
Oh.
Yeah. I was so excited because the stock seats are so soft and they're like leather couches. I wanted, because I took it to the track and because it would 3-wheel, I needed seats so I could actually stay in the seat when I'm in the corner. So I actually got some Sparcos at the garage sale and I put them in. Awesome. It was just such a fun car to drive. I mean, 18-year-old me, man, I just loved that car so much. It was actually really fast. Well, it's been a long time, but I actually did go 145 miles per hour in it.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
When we were younger, everything...
When I was very young and dumb, I went very fast in it. Yeah.
That's true. We have Victor RRP. Victor RP asked, how was it visiting Brunei? And there is a chance of visiting the collection. Probably you know the collection that he's talking about.
I put together like an hour-long documentary about my trip to Brunei. And you know the story about the collection and all that. I mean, I shook the hands of the Sultan and Prince Jeffrey and his sons. And like I met so much of the royal family, and I pushed so hard to photograph this collection, but I think they're just so closed off, and rightfully so. You know, it's their collection. They're honestly, they're embarrassed about it, which is fine. You know, I tried. I tried my absolute best, and I told Prince Mateen, I told Prince Jeffrey, I told these individuals, I don't care about any political anything. I don't care about anything other than the cars. Let's just talk about the cars. And I gave them the opportunity to tell that story, and they didn't take the opportunity. What can I say? I tried my best.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, there is always a tomorrow.
Well, the Brunei people, though, let me tell you, they love cars too.
Oh.
They're obsessive over cars. And so many of the general population have former royal cars. And I really dig into this in my documentary on the Haggerty YouTube channel.
It was recently on air.
Yes.
That video. And W Teixeira asked, what's your point of view on Brazilian drifting? Something captivated you?
Yeah, I mean, I follow a couple Brazilian drifters, especially the ones that have come to Formula Drift. João Barrion and, of course, Diego Higa. Incredible drivers. I just appreciate what they do more because I'm drifting now. And I've been drifting. And I do it for fun. I'm not competing. I do it for life fulfillment. But I just see what they're doing, and I just think to myself, again, something so far away. The skill, it's not even fair to compare. What they're doing is not the same as what I'm doing. And I just appreciate that. And I also appreciate the fact that they bring a different audience along to Formula Drift and also to the sport of drifting. It's something that we love so much.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And the last question, it's from Pobre Gearhead. It's poor gearhead in translation. It's always been here in the audience. And have you made many collabs with Su Kang?
Oh, yeah. I work with Sung all the time. He's a great friend of mine, and I love shooting with him. Actually, one thing that I'm really excited about that you guys will love is the last shoot I just did with him. I did the movie poster for his new movie. So those have not been published yet. And I'm excited for everyone to see those photos because I've spent a lot of time on them, and I really care about these photos. Another fun little fact is I'm in the movie. I play myself, but I just play a small role, just like a cameo. Okay. I'm taking pictures in the movie, and I'm actually drifting my 350Z in the background in the movie too. It's
going to be amazing. Pretty much like I have the same feeling that we're gonna feel like on Keishi on Tokyo Drift movie, like fishing, like
It's basically that, but that's the special thing about it. I love being a part of these kind of projects. It's a passion project, and I love what Sung is doing for the car culture community because he doesn't have to do this. But he just loves it. He cares about it. So yeah, we'll do a lot of things. I have a big announcement probably coming up soon that I'll probably do some really fun things with Sung just to involve the community. Because I held a really big meet not too long ago for the last round of Formula Drift, and Sung actually came to the meet, and we did like a talk, like a public talk, talking about his movie and just talking about car culture. And 10,000 people came to my meet, which was absolutely incredible.
It was amazing. Yeah. I was watching like the
You got to come next time.
Yeah, for sure. It would be a pleasure. Well, Autoconcept guys, this weekend actually, and they have a final question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Would it exist a possibility on a collabing art for a shirt, a special shirt on the event?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that would be so cool.
And probably you guys know what you guys could expect as well on the event.
Yeah, and if you want to tell everyone in Portuguese.
Yeah. Pessoal lá da Autoconcept falou, inclusive isso aqui, ó. Vocês acham que é o passaporte, mas esse aqui é um passaporte oficial de assinaturas para você colecionar da galera que vai estar lá. Então você, ao entrar no Autoconcept, vai ganhar um desses para você colecionar ali as assinaturas de todo mundo que você acompanha que vai estar lá neste evento. E é isso, galera. Vamos almoçar e na sequência a gente vai dar um descanso pro Larry. Mas muito, muito, muito obrigado a todos vocês que acompanharam esse podcast aqui. Espero que vocês tenham curtido num horário alternativo. Esse VOD, ele vai ser feito o upload depois para o YouTube, tá? Para que a gente consiga ter ele dublado em português por AI, para que vocês consigam acompanhar, se você não entende tanto inglês assim. E provavelmente agora, assim que ele terminar o ao vivo, também vai estar disponível o Closed Captions para quem quiser ver legendado. Provavelmente se você vai assistir mais tarde, já deve estar disponível ali essa live para vocês. Fechou? Então é isso. Um forte abraço para quem fica aqui. Larry, thank you very much for taking your time for being here, and cannot wait to see your reaction to our culture, and be welcome anytime you want to come here.
Appreciate it.
Ok. Pessoal, aquela música. Tararara, ta, tarara, pa, para, ta, 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 ta.